Tigers split a series with the Giants. They had won the final game of that whopping 2-game series last week. And we were speculating. I had said, kind of made a joke like, well, maybe the Giants are just going to have trouble with AL Central opponents. Well, apparently there is some truth to that because
Prescient.
the White Sox, my White Sox came into town and kind of, except for game one, pretty much manhandled the Giants in a 3-game sweep, which made it their 4th loss in a row. To make matters worse, after the White Sox left town, they played the Diamondbacks, who extended that losing streak to 6 games. They salvaged in a come from behind victory, a 7-5 win in the final game of that series. And then what I have been speculating is kind of the season defining series for them now, as they play the Padres in a 4-game series that started last night. That started out with a 2-1 loss to the Padres, which makes them 2-8. The Giants are 2-8 in their last 10. They are only 1 game above 500 at the moment. Their defense is super sus. I mean, it's not good. That's something that they've been very good with over the years is solid defense.
Yeah.
And
you could definitely see it against your White Sox, as we brought up last night in episode 5, a Sox type thing.
yeah, I mean, they played one good defensive game, and that was the game the Sox squeaked out 1-0, where they robbed the White Sox hitters of multiple extra base hits, and then it just fell apart for the next two. And you know, I I was optimistic when D Scalafini came back, but now he's gone for the year. His ankle is not in game shape, so he has been shelved. He will not return this season. He's on the 60-day DL, which caused the Giants to do I think this move is just to put an arm at AAA, but they gave the Guardians some cash for someone named Tobias Myers, who has a 6 ERA with a 1.77 WHIP over 14 starts for the Guardians AAA Columbus club. So it's not like I don't think they nabbed him to come and pitch up at the big league club anytime. It's probably because they were bringing someone up for D Scalfini and are just, they need someone to start AAA. But they just had these, I almost mentioned these moves in jest, because they've had all these little like minor moves which have all been somewhat comical and easy to miss unless you're actually following Giants news. I mean, probably barely discussed on any
unless you host a podcast that involves San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, it's not probably even barely covered by MLB Network, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, this series to me against the Padres, if they don't win the series, even if they split the series, like I think you're turning into sellers probably, outside of some epic run before the All-Star break.
Well, considering what the competition in the division is doing, I mean, what did you say? How far back are they in third
now they're 11 and a half back, 11 and a half back. So
that's distant.
I mean,
you still have the wild card to deal with, but that's...
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like that extra wild card spot and how it will change how teams approach things. Like, I wouldn't want my team to hold on to assets that might be on their, in at the end of their contracts or something, in hopes to make that final wild card spot, where the reality is, I know anything can happen in the playoffs, but the reality is, with the talent level, it's not going to be a long run. Yeah. And you're going to have to go play that 3-game series on the road. Like,
yeah, this format would be 3 games on the road, I think.
Yeah. And
the last wild card.
And while that could bode well if the White Sox were to make the West wild card spots, I'm still way better away from home.
That's funny on a lot of levels.
Yes, I know exactly. I agree. But you know, I think they just gotta look at it and say we shocked the baseball world last year. Didn't shock them enough for you and I to pick them as any sort of runaway candidates to win the NL West again. I mean, I have them in the last I had them in the last wild card spot. So while that is still, up for grabs, I guess, but there's still half a season to play, but like I was expecting that to be more of like they're in the last wild card spot because they're still like 15 games over 500, but the other two teams ahead of them are so good.
Right.
But now we're getting to the point where if the last wild card spot's coming down to a team who's just a few, which may or may not, we don't know. But if it was coming down to the Giants playing like they are right now, then I'm not interested in them going to the playoffs. So
Or spending
or
any kind of
yeah,
capital to get there.
I mean, I think the question and probably something we've been kind of teasing. We're going to get into this, but like you got Carlos Rodon on a 2-year contract who's been pitching well.
Oh boy.
You could probably trade him to someone.
Boy, yeah, I think next week we're gonna have to do it like buyers or sellers. Maybe that's the
Yeah.
segment we go through all our clubs and figure out what the fuck's going on.
Word Hole Media.